The service of songs for Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe, JB, who died on the 4th of January 2022 at a very good old age of 104, was held on the 9th of May 2022 at the All Saints Church Hall, Jericho, in Ibadan, Oyo State. Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe, JB, was born on the 5th of April 1917. He was former chairman of the government's New Corporation Service Commission in the early era of Nigeria's military administration in the Old Western region. He had a track record of fairness and justice in the affairs of humanity. The service, which welcomed dignitaries like former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former head of administration and secretary to the board of the Old Western Region Government Broadcasting Station, Chief Tunde Oshobi, and a host of others, commenced with an opening prayer by Venerable E.B. Mabadeje of the All Saints Church Ibadan, after which an opening hymn was sang. The first and second Bible readings were taken by the sons of the deceased, Mr. Olukayode Akomolafe and Mr. Olaoluwa Akomolafe. Former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, stated that the deceased, Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe, once gave him a stern warning and steps on how to be vigilant before his relocation to Ibadan. He also said he found a confidant, brother, an advisor, and saw the deceased as someone who understood certain things about the country.
Adepoju Akomolafe, my mainstay, confidant, my advisor, my supporter, the man I could go to and feel free, the man who will also talk to me as a son, as a brother, as a confidant, and as somebody who understands the goings on in Western region and indeed Western state and indeed in the whole country.
A brief sermon on the topic Faith or Fashion was delivered by the Most Reverend Professor G.L. Ashebikon, who noted that as Christians, the earth is not our home, and the eternal kingdom is more important than being on earth. He urged everyone to think about eternity.
As Christians, this is not our home. There's a home that we are going. That is why we are singing. What we are singing is to send Baba off. This is not our home. We are too particular about this life. What will we wear? What will we eat? The cars will we ride? Those are the things. But can I offer you that eternal kingdom is far more important than all those. For no matter how long we live here, we are going to drop everything here. 104, Papa. 104. I cannot imagine it. But it's done. With all those have been new friends, colleagues, for every other interest, it has come to an end. The question I dare to ask anybody here is, where will you spend eternity?
Special prayers for the family and church were then conducted by Very Reverend Adewale Soya and Very Reverend Kanu Ndukwo. The service of songs came to an end after a vote of thanks by the daughter of the deceased, Princess Adenike Adamolekun, who appreciated the men of God for supporting her father with prayers. She also appreciated friends and family members for standing by the family. On Tuesday, the 10th of May 2022, family, friends and well-wishers gathered at the All Saints Church, Jericho in Ibadan, Oyo State, for a commendation service in honor of the late Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP. In attendance were former military governor of Lagos State, General Raji Razaki retired, senior pastor of Trinity House Church, Pastor Itwai Godalo, former Lagos State gubernatorial aspirant Jimmy Agbaje, and a host of others. The service commenced with a reception of the remains of the deceased into the church.
Nothing into the world, and we take nothing out. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Bible reading was taken by the son of the deceased, Mr. Moyoshori Akomolafe, after which hymnal renditions followed. A brief sermon was delivered by Most Reverend Dr. A. Oakifenwa, who represented the Bishop of Ibadan Anglican Diocese. He started the sermon by reading a brief biography of the deceased, Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP, as he spoke on the topic, "When you die, is that the end?" He noted that death is an appointment and it is inevitable.
He was a member of several social clubs, including the Dining Club and the A Club, A standing for Akara. He is survived by many children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. Let's just leave it there. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I thank God for his life, that we are gathered celebrating a man who can be described as a legend in his own time. A man who's left his legacy, the footprints of time. A man who we should emulate in all spheres. I thank God for his life, and I thank God for the children. Honestly, that you can hold your heads high and say, I am of the Akomolafe dynasty, is is something you cannot buy with money. So congratulations.
Farewell anthems were rendered by the teenage ministry of the All Saints Church, Jericho, Ibadan, led by Mrs. Akomolafe. The Ekitikparakpo College Old Students Association, Igbobi College Old Students Association, St. Andrew's College Old Students Association, and Cathedral Church Bearers Society all sang their different anthems in honor of the deceased. The family of the deceased, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren sang one of the favorite hymns of the deceased. After that, soloists Miss Christian Okoso and G.F. Handel delivered solo performances. The senior pastor of the Trinity House Church, Lagos, Pastor Itwai Godalo, conducted special prayers for family members of the deceased before the church choir rendered some beautiful numbers. Son of the deceased, Otumba Oluwatoyin Akomolafe gave the vote of thanks as he appreciated the spiritual fathers, family members and friends for their immense support, after which prayers were conducted. The commendation service came to an end as the body of the deceased was carried out of the church in company of the priests and family members. The lying in state for Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP was held in the early hours of Thursday, the 12th of May 2022. The remains of the deceased was moved from the Akomolafe family house in Ido to the Ekitikparakpo College, Ido, in Ekiti State. The EPCOSA National President, Mr. Dotun Adekombi, gave the opening remarks, during which he noted that the deceased impacted the lives of many through the Ekitikparakpo College in Ekiti State. He mentioned that the Old Students Association of the school will ensure that the legacies of Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe lives on.
Baba Akomolafe did just that. He poured everything in him into the young boys and girls whose lives were entrusted in his care. He never compromised discipline. Regardless of how close you were to him, he molded character, for without it, no one will amount to anything, no matter how brilliant the individual is. He went to any length, from encouraging old students to return to teach at the college, to recruiting even South African teachers to ensure that his pupils drank from the fountain of knowledge. He taught us how our collective can-do spirit of togetherness, Agbajopo, can move mountains. Above all, he set his word on the path of righteousness.
Daughter of the deceased, Mrs. Ariola Olani, read her father's favorite Bible verse, the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, after which the Ekitikparakpo College principal, Mr. Jonathan Olaoluwa Ilesomi, gave a brief speech in which he eulogized the deceased for the remarkable impact he made while on earth. Another daughter of the deceased, Adebisi Adeyemi, who was also a student of the Ekitikparakpo College and the member of the Ekitikparakpo College cultural troupe, entertained guests before a student choir delivered some heartwarming songs, all in honor of the late Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP. Next were remarks by the Ekitikparakpo College old students from the year 1950 to the year 1980. They spoke of the impact the late Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP had on their lives as students in Ekitikparakpo College and how the deceased trained them into becoming better people today.
So whatever I am today, I think Ekitikparakpo made me, and I thank God for that. And a lot of people I met here today, they have the same experience. Because going to a university, you just go there to receive lectures and go. University doesn't have impact on your life. The formative years of my life was in this school. And on behalf of, I know we have some seniors here, but I've been chosen to talk for people who are here in the 59 downward. And I want to say we thank God for the impact Chief Akomolafe did in the life of all of us. And we pray that he continue to rest in perfect peace. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, anybody who knew Papa Akomolafe and what he stood for, we know that Papa did not only build monuments. There are monuments here in his honor. He also built legacies, and we are the legacies. For being legacy of Chief Akomolafe, we stand in awe to say thank you, Papa, for building us up. God bless you, everybody.
A gift item was afterwards presented to the son of the deceased, Mr. Oluwatoyin Akomolafe. The lying in state ceremony for the late Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP ended with the singing of the favorite hymn of the deceased, led by his daughter, Mrs. Tolu Akomolafe Usanga. The Christian wake service for Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP was held on Thursday, the 12th of May 2022 at the Akomolafe family residence in Ido-Ekiti. The event welcomed guests from different parts of the country, like former military governor of Lagos State, General Raji Razak, retired, the chairman and CEO BISCON Communications, Prince Dr. Bisi Olatilo, Professor Toyin Ashiru, and a host of others. The service commenced with a praise and worship session led by St. John's Anglican Church Choir, after which hymnal renditions followed. An opening prayer was said by Venerable Oluwajayi, the vicar of St. John's Anglican Church, Ido-Ekiti. The first Bible reading was taken by son of the deceased, Barrister Olukayode Akomolafe. The second Bible reading was taken by another son of the deceased, Mr. Olaolu Akomolafe, before Reverend Canon Fowe and Reverend Tom Adaramola conducted prayers for the family. The third, fourth and fifth Bible readings were taken by the sons of the deceased, Evangelist Adebisi Akomolafe, Mrs. Oluranti Familoni Ne Akomolafe, and Mr. Oluwatoyin Akomolafe. The sermon delivered by the Bishop of Offa Diocese Anglican Communion, Right Reverend Dr. Olushola Akombi, focused on how humans spend time. The clergyman said the deceased had a special privilege of living up to 104 years. He urged everyone to live each day of their lives like it's the last. Special prayers for the family were conducted by Right Reverend Olushola Odediji of the Lagos West Anglican Diocese. That was followed by a special thanksgiving, during which family members of the deceased danced and celebrated God for a life well spent. The service ended with a vote of thanks delivered by Professor Olusoji Akomolafe, who appreciated everyone for their support. There was an after-party event at Mr. Oluwatoyin Akomolafe's residence where he treated friends and family members to a dinner as they enjoyed maximum entertainment from the Sax Tea Band. The final funeral ceremony for Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP was held on Friday, the 13th of May 2022 at the St. John's Anglican Church, Ido, in Ekiti State. In attendance were His Excellency, former military governor of Lagos State, General Raji Razak, retired, former governor of Ekiti State, His Excellency, Engineer Segun Oni, the Chief of Staff for Osun State, Dr. Charles Diji Akinola, the Deputy Governor of Ekiti State, Otumba Bisi Egbayemi, former Governor of Ekiti State, His Excellency, Adeniyi Adebayo, Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Barrister Rimi Ayedatiwa, Dr. Yemi Ogunbiyi, Dr. Biodun Shobanjo, Colonel Kayode Are, retired, Engineer Shola Alabi, Dr. Sheyi Roberts, Professor Toyin Ashiru, Mr. Toyin Okelwo, Prince Adelo Adedeji, the Chairman and CEO BISCON Communications, Prince Bisi Olatilo, and a host of others. The service began with the reception of the body of the deceased into the church. The sermon was delivered by Right Reverend S. Eoni, who spoke about the deceased as a very religious and God-fearing man who received the grace of God to live long. He urged everyone to live their lives well in wisdom, as wisdom is profitable to direct. There was a special Thanksgiving session. Lord Bishop S.T.G. Adewale of the Kwara Anglican Diocese conducted special prayers for family members of the late Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe JP. The service ended with some hymns as the remains of the deceased was moved out of the church. There was a grand reception at the Otumba Oluwatoyin Akomolafe residence in Ido Ekiti, which hosted friends and family members of Mr. Oluwatoyin Akomolafe. The legendary king of world beats, King Sunny Ade, entertained guests with music. From BISCON Communications, it's farewell to the late Omoba Dr. Adepoju Akomolafe, FNIM JP.